There it is. All right. Testing, testing, testing. So, seeing what this looks like. Um, I've got my Twitch feed up in OBS, but hallelujah, praise whomstever. Uh, I'm also on YouTube, so that's kind of cool. So hopefully, what'll happen now is YouTube will just autosave and publish replays of live streams. So this will be fun. All right, let's get Stu out of the way here. See if we can get folks to come in, and we can get doing our reference painting for the evening. Our reference painting, as the description notes, is Caroline Leavitt. I'm going to use one of her god-awful Vanity Fair photos. And if you guys haven't seen them, you gotta. They're so good. They're just absolutely horrendous. They really expose the plastic, masked nature of it all. But yeah, it's very, very they live. Alright, so this is good. YouTube stream looks like straight dog water. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Okay. What am I looking for here? Oh, right. Okay, cool. So he's just got to go away. I need to figure out how to plug, unplug, replug, and figure out how to get my iPad going here. Alright. So we say screen mirroring is on. What I see proves that to be a lie. This accessory uses too much power. What the hell are you talking about? It's a cord. Let's see here. Alright, Chad, I'm trying to come up with something funny while I figure out this super annoying technical breakdown I'm having. So, give me 1 second. I'm gonna throw up. First, I'm going to throw up into my mouth. And then I've got a little technical difficulties thing. I will sort of pull myself off of camera here for a second while I figure this out. But you rest assured, chat, we're going to get back at this. What is the cloud? There it is. Stream assets. Okay. Now, if this works properly, I should just be able to, if I'm thinking about this correctly, import image to, yes, tech difficulty. Go ahead and name this. Figure out where we're pulling this file from. Boop. Slap that in there. Resize. Alright. Technical difficulties. Man. I don't fucking know. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna do a lot of plugging and unplugging and replugging. I will figure this out. We're only 5 minutes in. We're gonna save this whatever. We'll be alright. Give me just 2 seconds. Alright. Boom. We got it. We're good. Alright. It now occurs to me that I need a little placard for when I'm having technical difficulties. So, let's go ahead and use this as an opportunity to figure that out. And gall dang it, let's figure it out together. So, I kind of want him to just like, him as in my intern who announces these things. If you were here at the beginning of the stream, his name is Stu. He only exists to tell people things about my stream. So I think it would be funny if he was the one who like did all of that sort of thing. So let's go ahead and just lay out what we want this to be. Very, very basic, very rough. We don't want this to be anything serious. Because this is just the sort of idea phase. What do we want this to say? I don't want that. I want the lines. It's fucking juvenile. I don't know. I don't know. Tech issues. B. Beck. So. Those big fucking meaty hands. Yep. His arm. Yeah, there we go. And we got ourselves a stew. Now, the issue that I'm having is, does he have ears? Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. Let's bring that back. Yeah, he's got big old flippin' honkers. Okay. He's got kind of like jowls. Real deep set eyes. Okay. We're just gonna fucking vibe this one out though. So put it here. And I wanted his skin to be gross. We did a stream a couple weeks ago where we did more variations on the sort of like design of Stu, and I went much more realistic, and I really didn't like it. Like, I really didn't like it. Like when he's got that like little derpy alfalfa hair. All right, see how we're doing here. Yeah. Eyes are a little bit bigger. That could be fixed. I think something I need to learn is uh, the concept of drawing a character with odd proportions the same in multiple angles. Because, like, once the proportions really start getting weird, like, the understanding of it has to be just, like, so crazy up there. And I'm just, that ain't me yet. That ain't me yet. But, you know, like every community college professor will tell you, you gotta listen to the power of yet. Kindergarten teachers and community college professors. Not to disparage community college professors by any means, my God. Alright, start to kind of detail his fucking meatball hands. I tell you what, you don't want to get gripped by this guy. He grabs you, you squish. You squish. He had a hamster once, and then he had fucking tomato paste. What he had? Tomato paste, because he squished it. Alright. Comes down here. It's always important when drawing to draw through so that things are easier to follow. That follow through is easier for actually drawing through the form. We won't spend too much longer on this. because we have some learning to get to. Today's learning is brought to you by Squirt. Grapefruit, the fruit that nobody likes. Somehow everyone still eats. I'm just kidding, guys. I fucking love grapefruit. Top tier. Top tier soda. Okay, so it looks wonky now, but once you sort of like tighten up that line work, right? Like get a little bit more specific with where things are going. See, look at him. He's doing fine. He's doing fine. Then we just kind of squiggle for the neck, where his skin mask falls. Probably. He rules. He rules, you know. But we all rule, don't we? Ain't that just the way? Does he have a gap in his teeth? Is that a thing I'm imagining? Oh my god, this looks so much like a penis. Oh. That's an issue. Whatever. What was I doing? I was so caught off guard by my character design literally looking like a dick that I forgot what I was doing. Whatever. Give him his little poop hair. Just kind of outline some of this so I remember that he's not just a penis. I mean, it really is just like the shape of the head. Oh, I was trying to see if he's got buck teeth. He does. Oh, man. He's not nearly as, like, long in the previous version. So, we'll go ahead and fix that. It is not going to help him not look like a dick, though. Damn. Alright, I'm going to figure that out later. So, let's go ahead and... What is it? I don't know where y'all are at, but it's 9:15 on the coast where I live. So we're going to go ahead and get going. We will... You know what? I'll be kind to you guys. I'll give you a full 1920 by 1080. I will pull up. Oh, yeah. Yep, I was going to do the Vanity Fair. Okay. So let's see. You know, whenever I do something like this, I always say that you gotta figure out what makes the thing the thing. But, like, these things, they all just blur together, man. They all start to look the same. Your loomers and your leave-its and your Boberts. Well, Bobert doesn't. I guess I haven't seen a picture of her in a long time, actually. You know, some of these creatures just kind of recede back into darkness, and you sort of forget. Like Bavino, that guy's just going to go away. Someday we're going to go, what the fuck? Oh, I should add him to the list. Oh, Bavino would be a great one. We'll figure that out. Okay, here we go. let's do a quick... Let's just do a real quick little sketch. I think the issue with some of these people is that they just look so plain. And I think Leave It's one of them. She does have incredibly small lips, though. I wonder if she got all that fucking lip filler. Okay. We got a little bit of that. Definitely a lot of sort of eyebrow, makeup. Like so, like that. I have a lot of people have suggested that I do Stephen Miller as well, and he's another one that's like, I'm just gonna... I mean, at that point, I'm just drawing a dick. Like, not like that he's a dick, which he is, but like, his head is just so... It's just shaped like a dick. It was the same way with McConnell. I should have drawn McConnell much more penile. Alright. So I definitely think I gotta put the upside down cross on her. So we got something like that going on. I don't think that's terrible. Just as far as like... figuring out what she actually looks like. Okay, so let's imagine her cranium is a circle. Her nose seems to fall right where the neck would attach to the back of her head. Down here. Okay, so if this is the nose, these are here. Mouth is here, chin, mouth. Yeah, one of them little noses. It's a little sharp plastic surgery nose. See, that's the thing, is they're all just trying to look like people. That's how we know. So we'll give it some of that. But does she have... What are the cheekbones? Are the cheekbones sharp? This is important. Just so people know before I actually... There's some real puffy eyes. it's kind of like an upturned nose, too. I don't want to say it's, piggish. But it's definitely not great. Alright. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. Okay. No, that's not it. So let's take some base measurements here. Okay. So if I'm looking at a picture of her eyes fall right about here. Okay. We've got a nose. Comes down here. And this is super rough. Super, super rough, but I gotta break this down so that I can figure this out. Okay. So we're here like this. You got some of this going on. Okay? Eyes like that. So thirds in the face. And she got this sort of like thing going on here. I think that she thinks that humans call that lip. But that is not true. If you're evil and you know it, clap your hands. If you're evil and you know it, and you're the White House press secretary, clap your hands. Because she doesn't have hands, she's got hoofs. Alright, fixing these eyes that I just did because they're bad. Oh, I made them worse. Okay. I need to be a little bit bigger. Okay. I think that's pretty basic. Yeah. So we got hair. See, but this is what I'm saying, is she's just not like an interesting looking person from any kind of like proportions or anything. I mean, she's just a regular old looking white lady. She's got like ears and shit. I don't know. McConnell looks like a fucking turtle. So, we got that in our back pocket. Alright, let's try this again. Cranium. Okay. This is there. She's got the... Ooh. Oh, that might be it. That might be it. I might have just cracked this case. Okay. Okay. What? How? How? It was in the cheekbones. She got that Mar-a-Lago face going on. Let's make some quick measurements here. Like so, like that. Okay. We're in fucking business, chat. Okay, so stepping back, taking a look at it. That helped. That was good. That was good. I God damn it, honey, I can't make the top lip any thinner. I can't do it. I think in taking this and making this into like a creature, like I feel like it needs to be like skin pulling. But maybe that's a joke that's already just like too overdone. Like I feel like South Park does that a lot. Like their characters are all, or that was at least I think Christy Nome that they did that with. Another issue I'm having is that none of my characters look like they go together. So like if you guys look, I've got, well, we've got reptilian Mitch McConnell right here. So I already got him, but then I've got this like much more cartoony uh, uh, Elon Musk. So I don't know. I don't know. We got conflicts all over the place, but eventually, ladies and gentlemen, it all comes together. All right, Mitch. You go back to your corner. Okay. So let's figure out what we want to do with these eyes. So we'll kind of give it some of that. Here. Some of this. Some of that. Figure out the sides of her head. Well, we can make that sort of a block for her hair. I don't. I'm resisting the urge to like make her something. I just want to draw her gross. I think you convey a lot in the grossness of the neck. And then give her one of these just to make it super obvious so that nobody is guessing at what I think about these things. The eyes don't bulge enough, though. You need eyes to really pop, like all of those weirdos in Weapons. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Ah, we're cooking. Ah, there we go. Sometimes the lines just find themselves, and it's super nice when they do. You know, at some point the hand just starts talking for you. That's too much. That's too much. I let the hand do too much talking. I gotta let the brain think for a second. Very, very Pennywise. Very Pennywise the clown. Okay, so that's a little bit more like it. Maybe not so ridiculous this time. Okay. Now, we're going to flip this around, straighten this out, take a better look at this. Oop. Nope. Because, Chad, I can promise you, when I flip it around, it'll get twice as horrifying, and not for any of the right reasons. Holy shit, that's terrible. Okay. I always draw at a slant. So this is why the distort and the horizontal flip functions are your best friends. So the eyes I take issue with. But you know what? We're gonna call this good for a rough sketch. New layer. Now it's just about cleaning up and improving upon the design that we've already chosen. We are not just tracing. We are finding ways to improve our original lines. So, if through my line work I can create better proportions and details for my character, then that's what I'm building upon. If you are just using the layer above your line work to trace, you are not properly doing your line work. And you're just tracing your own shit, which is fine. But the improvement in your line work is what you should be getting, or the improvement on your composition. Composition. That's the word I've been looking for and that I've been dancing around because I'm not good at talking and doing this at the same time. Okay, so really gonna struggle with this eye, I guess. Oh yes. Oh yes. Cooking. Oh, we cooking. This is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good one. Nice and clean. I like the style of it. If you were here for our Mitch McConnell, that was much more focused on like rendering. I think with this one, I'm going to go much more cartoon. Something a little bit more sort of, I don't know, maybe like Hanna-Barbera? Is that? I don't know. No. No. Probably not. I'm glad I don't have a fan base. Because they would roast me for, oh, that style's not whatever. Okay. Cool, thanks, guys. Oh, you know, when your design is clicking, when you're going along with like literally like almost no complaints whatsoever. Like cleaning up, being more precise, again, not just tracing, but with the design itself, like I've really got this is just so easy. Alright, and we will go back later on and do line weight. But I was going to keep this sort of a shorter stream. Not that I want to kick you guys out too early. Bunch of games I've been getting into, though, that I am hella excited to get back to. Okay, hair. Always a weakness. That's okay, we'll fix it in post. And there we have Caroline, leave it. Caroline, leave it to Beaver. Now, we can begin painting. So let's get rid of those background lines. Let's go ahead and create a new layer. We're going to put that under the layer. I'm not stopping to show you guys this because if you've been on the stream before, you've seen this 1,000 times. I'm going to pick something sort of yellowish. I'm going to take my background color, put it at a 50% gray, so that all of my values look correct. And we're going to add some color to this fucking monster. And we're going to do it the easy way. Okay? So we're going to go... Honestly, I'll just make a mess out of this. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? I'm 32 and it's 9:45 at night. It's past my bedtime. Drag and drop. Boom. Colored. Hair. I want to keep in the same sort of like saturation. Saturation being the amount of like color in a color. How colorful a color is. This is already yellow. So we're going to see how this does. Once the whole thing is colored, we'll see how this performs. If not, color select is a thing. We can fix it. Your mistakes can always be fixed. Okay, so that was clearly bad. Wonder why it was creeping into the face there. That was weird. Okay. I'm just going to do this one by hand. And then I think it's pretty obvious that there should be like a good deep red, oversaturated, a little brighter, very sort of like eye-catching. I had to fix that line work. On the upper lip, nevertheless, we persist, white for the eyes, As always, we're probably going to make them all, like, red and gross. Wait for the teeth. And... yeah. We'll go ahead and make a layer above. Yeah, we're going to make a layer above. We're going to make it a clipping mask, and you know what? I will show you guys that, because I actually haven't done too much of that. So, we go to, there we go. We have our new layer, right? There it is. You can all see it up there, our beautiful layer 4. We're going to take this layer and I'm going to hold my pencil on it, and I'm just going to bring up this menu. I'm going to click clipping mask. Now everything that I draw will only appear, congratulations on the BLTs. Everything that I draw will now only appear on the layer beneath it. Do I know how clipping mask, do I know how masking algorithms actually work? Absolutely not. Should any of us care? No. It's magic. Just allow there to be magic in the universe. Smarter people have figured this out. What was I doing? Oh, right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make this a multiply layer. Again, layers, you know, it's all just magic. I know that when I use multiply, things get darker without losing the color underneath. So let's go ahead and give her a nice orange. I feel like a lot of them have that Mar-a-Lago sort of mango look. We're going to go with a very light, a very round brush with a lot of opacity. But it's also got a lot of give to pressure, so when I go really hard, there's a ton of opacity, but so long as I hold my pencil super light, we are good. And we're just gonna, again, we're gonna call up our friend Hue Variation. And Hue here is gonna, not orange enough, son of a bitch. How's that not orange enough? Okay. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay. Gonna have to go back over the neck and make sure that all of that is white. Ooh. We're gonna put a hard edge here, just to make sure that we've got some clear delineation between, like, face and not face. Now, could this also, chat, could this also be a fun little thing about how she's the face of a fraudulent criminal organization? I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't make those calls. Fucking read into this however you want. It's fucking art. I don't know, man. I'm giving her an orange face because she's fucking ugly. So there's that. You know. I don't know. Okay. So a little bit of delineation and color there should make her look extra ghoulish. And you know what? I'm just so fond of this orange now. So let's just a little bit more on the nose, around the eyes, and you know what, let's go over the eyes. Yeah, except let's not be so overt about it. Oh my god, we're not fucking cavemen. Let's fucking control ourselves. Jesus Christ. Alright, some of this. Nope, that's too much. Alright, here we go. I am going to turn that back on so we get the whole view. Okay. Let's go ahead and color select our yellow. We're going to make this just a little bit more gray, a little bit darker. And again, using that round brush. Just a little bit of variation still on that multiply mode. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick a nice sort of like pink that's sort of creeping into purple. I want something sort of... The word that I want to use is fetid. I don't know if fetid. I don't know if that's the right word. I feel like that's how Donald Trump would say he doesn't know that word. Fetid. Well, he wouldn't say that he doesn't know that word. Okay, so we're just going to go around the eyes here. And we're going to... I don't know what this is. I don't... This is the... I don't know. But I like it. I like the color. It's gross. I think it sells it. I don't know what it is, but it's sold, baby. You know it. We've sold it. Okay, and like Musk, we're going to go ahead and use a little bit of that green. Because that was, if we look at... Folks, if we go ahead and look at Elon Musk here, we've got a little bit of green going on in there, and we'll hit that up when we do, we'll hit that up when we do a little bit more of that there, shading and such. But for now, let's just put it on our main layer. Why not? Make it drip. Okay. Gross. Now we are neglecting to color the eyebrows, which we should. Just slap a little bit on there. After we clean all this up, chat, let's just go ahead and do a final pass with lines, because these are not... They're good. They're good, right? But they're not... They don't scream final to me. So... And, I think we should have time for that. Clean that up there. And again, before we get into shading, we're gonna meet with our old pal, Mr. Layer Mask. And we'll say, Mr. Layer Mask, what do you got for us? And he'll say, I got a clipping mask. And we'll say, cool, what does that do? And we'll say, well, it fills up the space that Nate needs while he makes the mask and merges layers and doesn't leave dead air on Twitch. So, how about that? Speaking of which, chat, I have now established a shade layer. We're gonna slap this with, let's do something green. I'm feeling green. We're just gonna hit it with a nice flat wash. Ugh, that is piss. No, I absolutely have music going on in the background. In fact, feedback from the chat, if anybody finds the background music to be horribly distracting or just awful in general, please say so. This is all, like America. This is the great experiment, right? So, that's something I think about a lot, really. The American experiment. How that has failed us. Okay, let's add some light. It will never cease to amaze me how good contrast will just like completely change an image. It's very horse-like, not on purpose, but she is an ass. So, okay. On the whole, oh man, I really should have just. If I could have just gaslit you into believing that you were going insane, how wonderful that would have been. Alright. I think on the whole, I enjoy. It sounds like a sex thing, on the whole. Um, as a whole image, I'm happy with where this is at. Individually, not so much. So let's go ahead and do a final pass of each layer. I'm going to redo entirely our line art layer just because I think it deserves it. I'll redo our line art layer. I will clean up our flats. And then I'll actually put in a little bit of fucking effort to the shade layer. The first thing I'm going to do is put all of these layers into a group together. And I'm going to break my iPad in half. If I don't start selecting the layers that I want to be selecting. There we go. Okay. I'm going to take this whole thing and not distorting it, we are going to freeform. Nope, we're going to uniform, stretch, like so, center, and then something I didn't do the last couple times is I'm actually just going to go ahead and resize this canvas. Folks, we started with a 19 by 20 by 1080. I'm sorry, your second screen is no longer going to be taken up entirely by my canvas, but this gives me a lot more to play with. Go ahead and ungroup my layers now that I don't need to move them anymore. And we can get back to doing our final lines. Alright, I like to use a nice... You're just making up numbers. I am mostly just making up numbers. But I have found that if you say them quickly and confidently, nobody has the brain power or willpower to deal with you. And that works for me most of the time, if I'm going to be honest. So, you know, you got to do what you got to do, man. You know, I'm $20, right? You know what I'm saying? Alright. Now this, I know I railed a lot on, like, not, tracing earlier, and how that's, like, not helpful to the line art process. At this point, most of what I'm going to be doing is tracing. But the way I'm going to explain that away is that I'm focusing much more on line weight now, adding line, where I think it would be most useful. Thin here, thicken here, draw attention here with this. So it's a little bit of a different process than the line art for like just finding proportions and making sure that my drawing actually lines up. Like right now, I know that my proportions work. I'm not too worried about that. What I am worried about is, do I have sort of these little spots of darkness where my lines come together, and do they get thinner when they come apart? Sort of like how I'm doing on these cheekbones here. So, like, so long as you have this contrast and these variances, you'll have a fairly visually interesting image, which is why I'm doing this. So, yeah, it's fucking different than uh, what I said about doing your second pass line art, whatever the fuck I was talking about earlier. I don't know. Guys, listen, I talk so much, and this is Twitch, and I probably tune myself out as much as you guys tune me out. So we're all on the same page here, right? I mean, we're good. This is cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and back up. Wow, I'm real happy with this. I still frustrated that all of my projects so far have had like their own style. I would really like it if things were a bit more cohesive, but it is what it is. You can't win them all, right? You take the steps to get to the mountain, to get up the mountain. You don't get to the top by wishing you were there or something like that. I don't know what the saying is. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sure I don't have to get the number right because that doesn't fucking matter, but like, keep it loose. Overthinking it. Overthinking it. Okay. Folds, y'all know I love drawing them folds, rankles and shit. Love me some rankles. Wow. Yeah. It's always a good sign when you're kind of weirded out by the thing you're drawing. But that's like, that's art. That's an emotion. So she's definitely got like all these sort of like little pocks and blisters. 40k players in the chat, you all know, is a Nurgle administration if there ever was one. This January, the New Year's resolution. Alright, so this is also the phase, I know I've said this before, but this is also the phase of drawing where I will typically do, like any of the really, really, really deep black parts. I will hardly ever paint those in the color layer. My lines always sit on top, and it's just always easier to have those super dark colors at full opacity right on top, not to be fucked with by anything else. Okay. So this is probably the like communication center of her head. I want to say that's where her brain is, but like the Elon Husk drawing we did at the beginning of all of this. These things are not people. So they don't sort of have or need the faculties of people. Ooh, that's good geometry right there. Let's go ahead and... Yeah. All right. That's what I'm talking about. So, like, you could say that that's where the brain goes, but, like, who's to say it's not just the control center for, like, the reptilian overlords to tell her, like, what she needs to be saying and shit. You know what I mean? Nah, I don't want to be that kind of. I don't want to be that kind of streamer. They are gross though. Gross fucking weirdos. All right. Lines are fixed. Let's go ahead and fix our flat color layer. And you know what? This is good to know. This is good to know. I'll show you guys. This. Don't worry, everybody. Fucking calm down. Fucking calm down. All right. So you go on a little wrench. Okay. You go to. See, no, I forgot. Oh no, it's not on the wrench. It's the little wand. So you go to the little wand. I don't know what any of these fucking menus are called, so don't ask me. And we're gonna go ahead and click on. I want to say liquefy. Yeah. We're just gonna go a little bit larger on the size. We're just gonna push. Oh, make sure you're on your color layer. Like some kind of fucking idiot. There we go. Now, you just push your color into the right place. And there may be people who say, oh my god, Nate, my god, this is why digital art is cheating. And I will tell you, shut up. Just shut the fuck up. Just let people do things. Jesus. What the fuck is wrong with you? Alright, so as I want to get a little bit more specific with where I'm actually sort of pushing and pulling, I'm going to change the size of my cursor. As you guys see, I'm doing down at the bottom here, bottom left. And I push in, pull out, back and forth, back and forth. Folks, if you don't like audiobooks or listening to music or watching shows in the background, doing art is not for you, because this is like 90% of the shit is just fucking fiddling with little tiny shit. And now people are like, oh, well, man, you just have an AI do it for you. Like, fuck that. I'm in this so that I can bitch about the amount of work I do to do this. Like, I've earned the right to complain. So, fuck out of here. Alright. Realizing now that I have given no paint to what's probably a hideous pink sweater. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and clean that up. Go ahead and take away that rough sketch layer, and now we're looking somewhere a little bit closer to where we want to be. Goddammit, I'll tell you what, motherfucker, here we are. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of that little mess there, this little mess here, some of this little mess here, and there. We'll go ahead and, just because I'm getting lazy now, we're just going to color select, and yep, make sure we're still on the flats layer. There will come a day, my fellow artists in the chat, where you think you're on a layer, but you're not. You're on a different layer. Congratulations, you just fucked yourself. I cannot tell you how that feels. Not because I don't know the feeling, but because I've repressed it. It's so terrible. Right. it really is the finer points in art that piss me off the most. Like I there's just a point where I'm like, okay, I've got to have ADHD or something because I cannot sit still through this shit. All right, putting some line weight in some corners. A little bit of visual interest here. Bada bing, bada boom. Forget about it. Go back to my round sketch brush. And I'm just gonna, I don't know, soften some edges, I guess. Just a little bit of like deepness of the ridges and all of that. Of course, we will expand on that in the shade layer, but here's where we're at. So that's pretty fucking gross. That's pretty nasty. Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a part of like every project where you just get to like the details and you're like, God damn, it looks fine enough if I step back. But then it eats at you. Like the telltale heart. Or the fucking Lord. It just watches you. Okay. Let's go ahead and do ourselves some favors and let's just soften a bunch of this. Let's just... I'm not even going to pretend. You're just following edges and forms and shapes. Who cares if it all mixes together? We're about to fix it anyway. I mean, don't be a fucking idiot about it, but... Easy softening. Look at that. Now, let's pick a brush with some texture. Let's go back to that green we were using earlier. Make sure that this is the same green. It is. And let's start with half size, smaller than that. There we go. Let's just follow some lines. All we're doing right now is sort of like the deepest recess lighting, shading. So, some to follow wrinkles, some to fall under flaps, the illusion of depth. Now we're going to go back over this, of course, with the blend and the highlight. Probably going to do the shade again because that back and forth is everything. It is absolutely essential for you to get used to that. Little change here, little change there. Erase this, do this over again, blend, do this over again, blend, do this over again, blend. It's a process. And you have to learn to get good with it. Just the idea of having to do it. Fucking figure that shit out. Have fun with it. Okay, so we soften this up yet again, so that it all continues to come together. We go to our mid-tone. We're going to lighten that up just a little bit. And this is really... This is where things start to really come together. Okay. So we're just going to get a little bit more particular with that mid-tone, because it is slightly lighter than the original mid-tone. It should blend into highlights really well. But bitch, we work in digital art, like, we can just blend it. We'll be alright. Alright, we got some form going on here, bitch. Now, we're going to push it past 50%. We're going to dumb that gray all the way down. We're going to get a nice big brush. And we're just going to go back over the work we just did. Carefully. Don't be stupid about it. There's a highlight, so just raised edges. Okay? Really digging this sort of pink hue. This is very gross. This is why we use the hard light layer, folks. Gives you this really nice mixture with the opacity. And then let's go ahead and step that up. A little bit more green. Or a little bit more saturation, a little bit more blue actually. And then boop, 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 boop. Throw a little bit here. And then we won't do any like wet highlights yet. If there's anything that I want to like go on top of the line layer, like eye highlights, I always save that for last. Easiest to just put it right on top. Alright, now again, go into our blend. Blend, blend, blend. I'm being real soft about it this time. Real tender, because I want that edge of that highlight to still kind of come through on the skin. And the hair, who cares? Basically getting rid of it. Okay. Now we're going to pick... we'll probably still use a gross little green highlight, but we're going to go all the way into the white. We're going to pick a hard edge brush. We're going to make a layer all the way on top. And this is where things really sort of come to life. So, if we utilize these sort of like super bright highlights, if we can utilize these sparingly enough, they're a really good indicator of light and texture. But you have to use it sparingly. Otherwise things will start to look like, things will start to look wet, things will start to look rubbery. Actually, in this case, that actually might work in my advantage. I'm going to go back to my... No, I'm going to stay on the layer here, and then... How would I do this? Let's do an eraser with a little bit of texture. And then if I just... That's way too big. Let me... Oh, you guys can see how zoomed in I am. Okay. Real light, we're just going to make some breaks in this. Okay. Because water or sweat or whatever, liquid, when light passes through it, it does this really weird thing where if you're in sort of the... Man, I wish I knew physics terms because this is tough. when you're in the main shine in an image, so this sort of circular portion, okay, the absence of shine is what shows like drop until you get to shade, then it's the shine that shows the drop. So as it comes through here, there's nothing. As it comes through here, there's shine. We should define that right there. And then, especially when you get into those deeper shaded areas, so for anybody who wants to learn painting and stuff like that, a good practice is to do regular texture paintings, and I think maybe just taking some spheres. Yeah, so when, like, I'm trying to think of like a material. Like if I were to sort of overdo a lot of this, which I'm being like way too mindless about this actually. I do want to make a little bit of drool. Um do I like that? Is that good? A little bit of tears there. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that. Um Yeah, so when you overdo shine in illustration, it ends up always looking like almost like latex, and then of course when you overdo it, it just looks like spots. Okay, so there's that, and then we erase some of the base of that, and then put that back in there and make it drop. There we go. And then this here, we could go down here, do some of this. And then that shine there is gonna, I think she'd be sweaty, like, because she knows. She knows she's lying. Because I want her to be shiny, I'm going to follow the rim of some of the harder edges. I'm just going to completely erase all of that shading. All of it completely. I'm not going to go to a higher tone. Just going to get rid of it. On the underside, this will show that light is bouncing off of a surface and then back onto her. Again, if you do this too much, it makes it look like the thing is like glowing, or it's just unintelligible and people can't tell what you're trying to do. I, of course, then allow myself to be a lot more reckless with the highlights on the outside, because that's not really where I give a shit about people actually looking. That's just visual flair. That doesn't have to make any fucking sense. Okay. Now that I've erased those, I can go back into my highlight layer, and in the highest spots, add the last little sharpest reflections that I want on top of everything. So the flats of the cheekbones are going to catch, where the light passes through from the eye is going to catch, the nose Gonna catch. I should probably blend that up just a little bit. That's alright. We got that. A little bit of this here, passing through there, down here, down there. Oh, I wanted to do like a little bit of spittle or something. And I also... You know what? Before we do that, let's color adjust our flats layer because I'm just not getting the saturation I want. While I figure this out, I'd like to take a minute to remind everybody I'm also currently streaming on YouTube. So if anybody is more comfortable there... Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I like that. And we do just a little bit... Oh, no, the brightness was probably pretty good, actually. Global color... What about there? Okay. So yeah, I plan to post time lapses and stuff like that on YouTube. I know I talk a lot about it and then didn't do it, but I wanted to figure out the streaming first because that's sort of my, that's going to be like our bread and butter, chat. I mean, let's be honest, right? In fact, yeah, okay. So like I said, every time I stream now, you can also find me on YouTube. So if that's where you would rather be, then be there. Okay, so we got that. I would just love to do a little bit more work on these sort of like face seams here, because I feel like that could be like a really fun, gross thing. I'm just not getting the engagement from it that I want. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not speaking to me. Oh, that's good. So, I mean, honestly, in my mind, I think like the best designs are the ones that just come from you like exploring a thing and having fun. You know, once I found the proportions that I thought made this ghoulish hell spawn demon this thing, then you just kind of have fun with it. And when I post this, I'm gonna have to tell people like, yeah, it's her. It's not a perfect representation, but she's also a boring ass looking motherfucker, so I don't exactly feel bad about this. I think it might already be decided that next week we'll do Stephen Miller. He's going to be a little bit easier to do. He's a little bit more easy to actually make a caricature of. I am adding as finishing touches here. I think part of the issue now is that I need to figure out what I'm going to do. The big guy. But I feel like that one has to be planned. We got to make an event out of that. But yeah, I'm just adding a little bit of purple here because there's really not much purple going on in the image. And that's just... It's a miss. Need a little bit of cool colors. I've got the green. But, you mix it up, keep things fresh. Cool. So that is... Wow! Without the lines. How awful. How absolutely terrible. My God, maybe I'll just make that a thing. But here we are at the end of yet another horrible person painting. About an hour this time. So we're getting a little faster. I do want to remind everybody, like, all fun and games, right? But we're also trying to practice the art of portrait uh, painting, drawing, caricatures, that kind of shit. So, practice doesn't always have to be uh, god awful boring slog. Yeah, practicing forms and like studies and stuff like that can be kind of boring sometimes, but like you can choose to do fun things with it, and that's what I want to get through with this. Is that every Wednesday at 9 o'clock we're gonna sit down on YouTube or Twitch, and we're just gonna draw an awful person, and we're gonna try and make a fun caricature out of it. And we're gonna try and make them gross. Last week was it really just ended up being more of a painting of Mitch McConnell as a gross lizard person, but we're gonna try and do this. I will be back on Friday at our same time, 9 p.m., for just a chill, random sketch stream as we ring in the weekend. So, join me for that. Uh, I love you all dearly. I enjoyed having you all here. Like I said, next week I think we're doing Stephen Miller. So, if I don't see you guys on Friday, I'll see you guys next week.